Yeah, but I think I'm gonna get off, so I'll talk to you guys later.
Wait, shit, I realized that. I realized a mistake.
What?
I'm from class travel.
Oh my god.
You let it get you down to like 10%.
No, because as soon as I hit 5%, I'm gonna automatically use a stim pack.
Oh.
Yeah. But I'll talk to you guys later, alright? Might as well leave him.
Hey Cho, how you doing? I'm Magic. I'm the leader now.
Oh, Jesus. Alright. So, I feel like now is a good time to kind of give my thoughts on the game. I mean, like, I have done pretty much almost everything. And I feel like with all the stuff that I've done, like, you know, I've done all the quests that I have. There's most likely going to be more quests, but, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like, all of these I've done. And then, you know, a lot of main quests as well. Dailies I don't really care for. The events I don't care for, because I feel like even though they're cool, but you know. But I feel like I'm at this point where there really isn't much to record for now, because of the fact that I'm going to be just exploring and traveling and all that. Like, it's most likely, yeah, I'll do like stuff like shenanigan stuff, but like solo wise, there really isn't much for me to do, because, you know, like, outside of exploring, there aren't any quests now. So I feel like I'm at that point where I'm just like, okay, I kind of have done a lot of the stuff, explored a lot of the places, and can give a decent opinion. So here's my quote-unquote official review of Fallout 76 so far, as of November 22nd, 2018. And I say that because they are doing updates. So, there's that. But I'd say in like one sentence, the game is decent, but it also has potential. And let me go more in depth into that. So what it is that this game is sort of, I don't know, there's a lot of things wrong with it, and we'll start off with that. One, there is, you know, it's buggy as all fuck. Alright? You could exploit like a glitch with how you load in and all that, and it works out for you. Like, you can do this and you can do that, blah 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 blah. And you have all that crap. Another one is that you get multiple of the same thing, and it's sort of, it's not that bad, but it's like, I don't need it. I don't need duplicates. It just makes, like, you know, scrolling through this even more difficult. And the problem is that sometimes you can't really drop them like that. See, you can't drop keys. And another thing that it sort of annoys me is, like, I wouldn't say the lack of NPCs. That's actually kind of a minor thing, but more of the fact that there is, how would I say this? Lack of not lack of NPCs, but I feel like lack of actual refinement in the game itself. And it's weird to say it, I know, but it's kind of just how, like, that's how I see it. And the one thing that sort of is, you know, my main issue is the bugs, the glitches, the annoyances. Because, I mean, hell, I wasn't able to complete a couple of the introduction missions because of the fact that they glitched out. Like, personal matters, I wasn't able to do that until, like, a couple of weeks after I got it. And that's annoying. And another one that I have is this one. It's like, I don't want to do it because freaking Karis has gone through, like, he's literally has gone through all of White Spring for 6 hours trying to get this done. Not one feral ghoul dressed up as a fucking golfer showed up. Meanwhile, I was able to find one nowhere near the actual location, which is dumb, and I don't like that. And that's one of the things that infuriates me, is that it has these things where it's like it expects you to get it at this location, but you can't because it just doesn't spawn. And it doesn't have, you know, it doesn't give you the ability to do anything about it, because it's like, oh yeah, it's spawn, like, it's based off of random spawns, but, you know, because of the fact this is sort of like an MMO type thing, like it's multiplayer, someone else already killed it. And that's kind of what annoys me the most. But I feel like, you know, they need to work on just like fixing the quests, fixing the shit where if I drop something, it doesn't go through the fucking world. And also fixing the, like, visual, like, bugs where apparently I was getting attacked. Like, I didn't even know I was getting attacked in White Spring until the guards were like, yo, stop getting attacked. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck do you mean? And I was just losing health, thinking that it was something else. And then, oh, they killed it. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's dumb. And I hate shit like that, because it's like you are just sort of leaving everything up to whatever happens. And I hate that. I really do. But, you know, what can you do about it other than just hope to God that Bethesda fixes it? However, those are all the bad things. Those are all the bad things, and I know that a couple other people have highlighted the multiplayer and how it feels empty, and lack of NPCs. Honestly, I do not see that such a big important thing, because it's not, for me, it's not what made Fallout. And so it's like, yes, it'd be cool to get NPCs that weren't Graham, vendors, or ones that fucking kill you. However, looking at it, it doesn't add much other than like a slight idea of how it's like to live in this. You know, but even then, the holotapes do that, the notes, the missions themselves, they kind of give some insight. And it's stuff like that. And like people are always like, you know, always like bitchy about that, and I'm just like, that's just how it is. There's going to be reading. You're gonna have no choice. Fallout 4 did it. Fallout 3 did it. Fallout New Vegas did it. It's like, come on, you just do it. Just fucking suck it up and do it. Reading is gonna be something that, like, this, you know, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have to read. You're gonna have to do that to get an idea. But now I'm gonna hit on the positives of this. And the positives so far is the multiplayer experience itself. So, like I said, people saw it was empty. Like, oh, for a multiplayer game, it's pretty empty. It's like, well, you're not wrong. You're 100% correct on that. However, I'm not going to fault them for not understanding how to implement it in Fallout. Like, they have ESO, but that's just a massive culmination of all the games. You toss them in, and you have a decent MMORPG type ideal. Fallout is completely different, in my opinion. It has a lot. It's more, it's more lore dependent, more in depth. Granted, I do have a bias against Skyrim and Elder Scrolls because holy fucking shit, it's boring as hell to me. I don't know why, don't ask me why. I just do not like the whole sort of quote-unquote fantasy genre type deal. Especially Skyrim. Fucking sped ran through that, and I never bothered to go back to it. But anyway, back to what I was saying beforehand. It's, like, I'm going to give it a pass primarily because of the fact that they're fixing it. They're doing updates to the server. They are fixing it. They're doing these, sort of releases. They're listening to the feedback. They're doing all that stuff. And I'm going to give them a benefit of doubt. It's like, yeah, okay. It's shit right now. The servers are. Because, like I said before, shit drops through the world. I won't be able to get this quest done because someone's already killed all of them or they're just not appearing. And, you got all that stuff. But they're starting to improve it. I mean, they overall from release, which is technically like I think 2 weeks ago, they didn't have a week 1 patch because that was the 1.0.0.6 patch that they had for the beta, and they just kind of went with it. But then they updated the next week. And then they did another update. And so you kind of have this sort of idea of what's going on. And then recently, also I think it was like yesterday on the 21st, they had a server maintenance, and and so far there hasn't been many issues outside of the ones that are pretty prominent, and they're saying like they're fixing stuff, they're doing that. And then now I'm gonna also hit on the main part, the multiplayer aspect. And I mean just playing with friends. Playing with friends is great. Everyone has friggin' talked about, ooh, I want to play, Fallout with my friends in the same world, not just talk to them. And now you can do that. Now you can play, Fallout with, with allies, with teammates, and all that stuff. And it's great. Majority of my time in this game has been with friends, and I have never had an issue with it. I remember friggin' during the beta, Karis and I would literally play through, and I would look over, I would see the time that we had. It's like, holy shit, we have gone through 4 hours of the 7, of the 9, and he's like, no, that does not feel like it. It's so good that you also kind of just disregard all the glitches and all that, because it's like you're with friends, you're hanging out with people, which I like. And then even if you're not, to me, it still feels like Fallout. You're exploring, you're doing quests. Only difference is you're not talking to people like NPCs and other stuff. But to be fair, that's what That's what I like. I like the questing. I love the exploring. I love being able to build my house. Being able to build, you know, a defense, a camp. Like, I love that. I love that part. The exploring, the scavenging, all that. It feels like it still has the basis of a Fallout game. And then also people are talking about the story. There was never a story in place. It was literally you are a survivor of Vault 76. And this vault opened. I don't remember, like, I don't know the exact amount of time. But this opened. And now you have to go out, explore, and rebuild. That's what it is. That's what we do. That's what's gonna happen. Like, yes, you have, oh, you gotta defeat the Scorch Beast because the Overseers, like, sees that there's an issue with it. And then you have to go, you know, it's like you're going to interact with the Brotherhood of Steel in some way. You're gonna interact what pretty much is the beginning of the Enclave. And eventually you're gonna be firing off nukes. And that, you know, I can't wait for that. But overall, like, yes, there is, like, there is no story. There's no definite, like, oh, this is the plot. Exact plot of what you have to do. Like in Fallout 3, oh, you gotta find your dad. Oh, Fallout New Vegas, you gotta fucking take revenge. And then afterwards, it just turns into, you gotta solve this fucking war. Or whatever the fuck is going on before shit goes down. Fallout 4, fucking literally Taken, what's it called? The Taken movie, but in the apocalypse. Here, survive, thrive, expand, rebuild. No, there's not a plot. You know, well, yeah, it's not supposed to be. That's literally what you do. And so you have that, you know, you have that sort of idea. Meanwhile, you know, like, another thing is like, you have a new enemy type. You have the Scorched, you know, and they're interesting. The quests that they have are interesting. You know, fucking being the mayor for a day changes how NPCs, you know, are towards you, which is awesome. I love that. Like if you do mayor for a day in Watoga, the guys that would attack you, they don't attack you after that until you attack them, and it's great. And you have like all these dynamics that change everything, and it's really nice. It's really cool, and I like that. Other stuff that I like is, you know, the crafting. The crafting's really cool. That's really good. You know, they haven't changed much of it from the original, and you know, everything is still there. Like, you still have the power armor station from Fallout 4, the armor workbench, all this stuff. As well as you can, you know, have your own power, make your own settlements, all that crap. And better yet, you're going to be doing it with friends. You're going to be doing this with friends. You're going to be able to hang out. You're going to be able to do stuff. Like, I mean, hell, we literally have a plan to fire off the nukes to get the end game result. Like, the end game mission. Like, we're going to do this. We're going to do this part. We're going to nuke Fissure Site Prime just so we can get the end game boss and we can go and kick ass and get our asses kicked because of the fact that you're able to do it, and it's such a cool idea. You know, the end game stuff, like, I can't talk about the end game stuff because I haven't gotten to that point, but it's interesting. It's something. And people are saying, like, oh, it's, like, you know, it might be a little hard to get... No, it's not. You know, not even trying. I have fucking... Well, first off, let me just get all these. But I have, you know, I have 3 codes beforehand, before the weekly reset, I had 8 or 9. Like, that's a lot. It's not hard to get. I mean, you guys even saw it. Before the weekly reset, we had all 3 silos. All 3 confirmation codes. And it's like, holy shit. If we knew that the reset was gonna happen at that time, we would have done it on Sunday. We would have shown off what it was like to nuke the area, to do the boss, to go through the shitstorm, to get the gear that we need to make the ultimate armor, the ultimate weapons, the ultimate everything. And like, just the thought of it is just insane. It's great. And I love that. I love the anticipation that they put is amazing. Like, you know, you have the Overseer's Journey where you go to, you know, you go through all the main missions, like you go through the area, like you go from Vault 76 over to the camp, over to Flatwoods, and then you go over to Charleston, and then eventually you're going to go to White Springs, then to Watoga, and all over the place. Like, I'm still missing 2 of them. One of which is Site Charlie, which I think is over... Where is it? I think it's over here. Yeah, Site Charlie right here. And then a mountainside. And that's it. But you explore everything. You go all over the place. Like, you go from from here to up here to down here. And I've had so much fun exploring it. Like, this, I have only explored half of it. And I'm like, I want to go and explore more. It's just I wanted to get the quest done beforehand. You know, and you see, the quest for the Brotherhood of Steel, the quest for the Enclave. Those are really good. Those are really fun. And now people are going, like, people have said, oh, this is like a fucking knockoff of what's it called? Of Rust or 7 Days to Die. It's like, well, no, not really. 7 Days to Die and Rust, those 2 are different things. Just like they're different to Fallout 4. Now, are they better than it? In some aspects, yes. 100% agree with it. In some aspects, 100, yeah. There's some things that work and some things that don't work. That work in Rust. And in 7 Days. And you have all that shit. But I feel like saying, oh, it's a better X game or Y game is, one, really stupid, because one, it doesn't make sense to compare 2 different games from 2 different companies with 2 different mindsets. And 2, you just really don't seem like you have a full grasp of the games. Like, if I remember correctly, Rust, you have literally no story in it. There's nothing in it. It's just a sandbox survival. This one has it. This one has a direction. This one has some sort of objective. Loose objective, yes, but an objective nonetheless. Same with 7 Days to Die. It doesn't have an objective. I don't recall. It doesn't have, you know, the dynamics that this has. It doesn't have, like, events and stuff. And so I just think, like, when people are like, oh, this is that, this is that, they're just like, alright, nice to know that literally what you're going to do is compare different games. Now, granted, I will say this. There is, you know, some sort of, like, concern for this game, but honestly, over these last couple of weeks that have happened, you know, it's not too bad. It needs to improve. It definitely needs to improve. But it could be in a lot worse situation. When people say it's rushed, it feels rushed, but for it feeling rushed, it's not bad. So with that rant, is it worth to buy or not for people listening? I would say overall, I sort of a teal, sort of like a too long didn't listen type shit. I would say maybe, and I'm giving a lot of sort of points to the game, but I would say it deserves a 5 out of 10. But there's an asterisk. There's an asterisk of as of November 22nd. As of November 22nd, I would say this is an average game. The positives, it has that Fallout feel. It has, you know, the enjoyment that you get out of Fallout. Because, you know, when I got into it, I was like, all right, this is a Fallout game, but I'm going with a grain of sand because, it's multiplayer. It's something new. But, you know, with or without your team, your teammates, your friends, it still feels like it's a Fallout game. The cons, it feels, like I said before, it feels rushed. It feels like they haven't fixed bugs. It feels like there's a lot of things that should have been taken care of between the last session of the beta to day one. There should have been a lot more, you know, how would I say this without being like a complete dick, but it doesn't seem like there's as much effort as one would hope. And, you know, you look at that and it's like, okay, like what? Like, what does that mean for this game? This game, I would say if you were to buy it, if you're willing to put in the hours for it, it will bear fruit. But if you do want to sort of get that instant gratification and you're not someone who plays and, you know, likes, like, you know, likes the whole idea of it, I would say maybe just go and, you know, wait for a sale or something. Maybe like future on, it might change. I mean, to give you an idea, the reason why I'm saying like for now it's average is because let's look at 3 games. All right, 3 games that have had this sort of start, but have gone to be amazing in the end. And granted, for one of them, it's sort of excessive. I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's a big improvement. We'll go with No Man's Sky. Everyone was hyped about that when it launched. It was a rushed piece of shit. It was terrible. Literally, it's gone to the point where they had a lawsuit, and it was a criminal lawsuit too, to get that it was under false advertisement. Like, that's something. You don't get that. You know you fucked up when you have that thing. You know. That's not something you should have. However, over time, they did fix it. They made it more interesting. They brought in multiplayer. They brought in the stuff that they wanted. And now people like it. People are actually enjoying it. And that's sort of what another thing is Destiny. Destiny was this new, like, back, 4 years ago, Destiny was a new IP, like, as a newish IP coming from Bungie. And people liked Halo, so they thought, oh, this might be like it. For year one of Destiny, it was fucking trash. No one wanted to play it. No one wanted to do anything with it. However, they improved it. Year two, it gave more shit. There was more stuff to do. There was something there that wasn't boring. And then you also have Rainbow Six Siege. And I say this is a great example. Because you have a really, like, at launch, it wasn't really considered, like, it was interesting, but it wasn't considered a decent, a decent launch. People thought it felt rushed. People thought it felt really bland, really static. It didn't feel like there was any, any benefits from using different characters. The retention of players dropped significantly. A few stayed on. Like, if I remember correctly, Yak and Raven, people that we have played with before, have had it since the beginning. And now that they've, like, gone through it and they have a new operator coming out soon, and, like, right now it's on the TTS, and the game itself is now become one of the highlights of esports. It's become that popular, and it's only getting bigger because of the fact that they were able to improve on it. They were able to do something to it. So, long story short, if you're willing to stick with it, get it. If you don't want to, if you want to play other games, if you want to do other stuff, then wait for it. It will take time to mature. It'll take time for it to get better. It will take time to refine it. It will take time to get all the kinks out and all that stuff out. And it will take time for, for Fallout 76 to be the game that everyone was expecting. Even though for some, it's, Fallout 76 was the way it is now is all they need. I've actually, like, I was reading a couple of stories on Reddit, and there was one where it was like, oh, I could care less about, like, all the bugs and all that. Like, I was able to play with my friends, and I was able to play with people that, I wanted to play with for a while. And it's always funny just to hear those stories, and I'm just like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. The bugs, yeah, they're annoying, but you're able to play a Fallout game with your friends. That's it's something. So someone who has not played a Fallout game at all but wants to play with friends, I would say this would be a pretty good start to it. Because one, you really you're coming in it with a grain of salt. You don't have the expectations that everyone else does. You aren't expecting, oh, where is the NPCs? You're not expecting that. Is it buggy? Yeah, it's going to be buggy. It's not a surprise. But, like, if you're willing to look past the bugs, if you're willing to look past all of that, like, that garbage, it's still a pretty good game. It's still a pretty decent game. And if for a first time playing, It'll be pretty good. And if you feel like you'll enjoy Fallout, like Fallout 76, I'll also recommend Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3. Because those are really fun. Though that's kind of what got me into Fallout in the first place. And, you know, each game was better and better. Sure, there were some things that changed that, you know, I wish were still there, but outside of that, no, everything was great. Everything was perfect. Everything felt like it was supposed to be like that. So, you know, there's just that. Yeah, that was kind of my review slash rant slash vent, I guess. Because there's a lot of people who were like, oh, this is bad, blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, bruh, don't, just stop. But yeah, that's kind of the entirety of it. What's gonna happen next time? Who knows? Like, most likely what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be exploring some more off-camera, mostly on stream though, because I do really want to check out this place. I might do a couple of the events, couple of new events, but unless it's like really worth the effort of actually recording it and going through the stuff, I'll do it. But I can guarantee you one thing, within the near future, who knows, it possibly, by the time this comes out, it's already, I would have already done it. There is going to be the raid. At least that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the raid. Where we go, we nuke Fisher Site Prime, and we take down the Queen. And we go in, kill everything in sight, we get everything, and we see what happens afterwards. Will it be changing from a Let's Play? Who knows? It just depends on what happens next. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. And yes, next time we will see what happens. That's kind of, you know, my thoughts and all that. If you listen to that entire thing, congrats! You apparently actually listened to me for once. It's weird to think of that, but if you do want to see other stuff like Fallout 4 or New Vegas or 3, I have that all also on the YouTube channel. It's one of the playlists. And yeah, if you do want to see this stuff live though, go over to the channel, twitch.tv/toxic_TV, and yeah, hit the follow button there, and also hit the notification as well, so when I do go live there, you'll be the first to find out. A lot of the stuff that you are seeing right now has been streamed already on Twitch, so you should definitely get on that if you want to be there first, if you want to see it beforehand. I do a lot of, as you can tell, like I've done a lot of interacting with chat. You know, also speaking of which, my Thanksgiving was good. And yeah. But anyway, I am going to head off. This outro is already longer than it should be. And yeah, take care guys.